Hi there, welcome back to another episode of the Civil Discourse. I have Dr. Jacqueline Ejim, behavioral health therapist from Baltimore, Maryland, and I have Pastor Robert Rulak, again from Baltimore, Maryland. So today on the show we're going to discuss sexual assault and what does it mean? What degree of, what degree of evidence do you need for someone to be determined guilty or innocent? So that's something we'd like to discuss here. Is it a presumption of guilt or a presumption of innocence? I know this has been in the news recently. It's been a very, very big issue. You know, Supreme Court justice. And I'm curious where you all fall with this. Is an accusation enough to put a man in jail? Should the accusation have been brought to the police before? How long is too long to wait before bringing that accusation? Welcome back. We're being joined by Mike Corey, one of our contributors. He's a big-time activist. He's a videographer, biographer, hopefully well-known in the community by now. Say hi, Michael.
Hey, how you guys doing?
He's a contributor to the show. Back where we were talking about sexual assault, guilt, innocence. Robert had something he wanted to add before we cut, so go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, so we kind of started off, you asked me what would I think, what I guess evidence would be needed to believe someone being accused of sexual assault. And then I think you put me in a scenario, and that it didn't happen.
Yes.
I guess then you kind of alluded or you reared off into the Kavanaugh situation, where he claimed that the woman claimed to be assaulted, and then he claimed that it wasn't him. He didn't deny that maybe she was assaulted, but just not by him. Right. So somebody's not telling the truth here. Yeah. So what I alluded to was the fact that I used the story of Job, not Job, losing my train there, Joseph in the Bible, where he was actually accused of sexual assault and he was innocent. Right. So I think we were back to the burden of innocent. So in that particular Kavanaugh situation, as the investigation began to broaden, they started coming up, because I said I would think you would need collaborating witnesses. You would need people who can remember, because it was like 30 or 40 years ago. Right. So they started doing research, or should I say investigating, who did she tell during that time? Because if it was just an accusation that didn't happen, then if she was just bringing it up, then it wouldn't be any collaborating witnesses then or now. And so I began to share that the investigation didn't go. If it were me, if I was Joseph, and I know I'm being accused of something I didn't do, I would want any and everybody to come forward with whatever they knew, because if I'm innocent, and I am innocent in this situation, Joseph was innocent in that situation, I would think that in a court of law, he would say, bring it on. I'll do a lie detector test or whatever. But in that particular investigation, there were witnesses who weren't allowed. That's my point. They weren't allowed to come forth because it was a very controlled investigation where I think they were just trying to smooth over what was going on, just to appease the situation. Let me finish. And so, in that degree, we still don't know.
Every witness that she had, they brought forward, they interviewed under penalty of perjury.
I just want to
every witness that she had was interviewed by the FBI. She had 4 witnesses. All 4 were interviewed, said nothing happened, never met him.
There was about 20
never a party.
Or 40.
There were 5 people at the party according to her.
Listen. There were other collaborating witnesses that they never interviewed.
To what? To a party? This was a party. We're talking about this incident.
But listen what I'm saying.
There were never any. She said there were 5 people. She said there were 5 people. This is the.
But the 5 people left the party and talked to other people.
Absolutely.
That's word of mouth. Listen what I'm saying.
That's word of mouth.
Not one person said that he.
All the people weren't interviewed. Hear me.
The 5 people that she called as witnesses. The 5 people she said were at the party.
You're missing my point.
It's irrelevant hearsay. You do know that, right?
how can you deem anything relevant or irrelevant if you have not heard it?
Absolutely.
Well, let's put it this way. Her ex-boyfriend came forward under penalty of perjury.
You sound like they're trying to defend Kavanaugh.
Oh, absolutely I am, because I believe it's a farce.
Okay.
In 1990,
so you're being biased.
Another witness. No, I'm talking about facts.
You're being biased.
I'm talking about
all the
facts.
facts that hadn't come forth.
I'm talking about facts.
There were facts that were kept out of the situation.
I'm talking about facts with.
There were facts.
Robert.
That they wouldn't.
Robert.
My whole point is this.
She had witnesses. They interviewed them.
But if you had 20 people who had not been interviewed, what other facts could have been gathered? My point is, we're missing my point. If I'm innocent, I want all the facts to come to the table. Don't hold those back. Is my point. I'm not saying innocent or guilty. I'm not here to judge him. I'm saying I'm biased too. I'm biased on the side of right and on the side of who's telling the truth.
I just look at the facts and I say,
but
how come we
don't have all the facts?
Under penalty of perjury, her ex-boyfriend came forward, okay? Knew her from 98 to, 89 to 98, okay? This was an ex-boyfriend. Said she was never claustrophobic. In fact, on her own, rented a 500 square foot apartment. She said under oath she was claustrophobic. That's why she wanted 2 doors at the house. She was afraid. He said she never, ever had mentioned she had been molested, okay? That's another fact. She said she was afraid to fly under oath, correct?
I'm not sure. We're missing the point. The flip side of that, if I was the woman, because Joseph was Kavanaugh. Joseph was the man who got accused who didn't do it. That's what Kavanaugh was saying. So he's Joseph. He said he's Joseph. But then the woman, who you can put her in a scenario of someone who really did get molested or get sexually assaulted. If I was a woman, oh man, if I got sexually assaulted, I would know. I mean, you never forget that. I mean, even though it may have been 40 years, 30 years, there's some things right now happening when I was 6 or 7. It wasn't ever an abuse, sexual, but I remember vividly, and some things I never told anyone.
But you know, there's another fact in this you're missing as well. There's one more fact.
Factual?
Well, a fact. Her friend, her ex-boyfriend, under oath, penalty of perjury, said, I witnessed her showing someone how to pass a lie detector test to become an FBI agent. Name the person.
People lie under oath.
Okay, this is true. Okay, so you're saying that she lied, so she could have lied, he could have lied under oath. Okay, so
we're majoring in minors.
Okay, then her best friend in high school, who she named, was at the party, Leland Kaiser. Okay. She said that person that she coached to pass the FBI tried to coerce her into changing her story.
That's neither here nor there.
No, it's not neither. Robert, why is it neither here nor there?
That might tell.
Things that happen to people when they're young, as you said, people that could get raped or molested, or things that happen during those times of their adolescence. They say that psychologists have proven the fact that they choose to repress those memories because they don't want to remember them. So she could have been claustrophobic, but she chose not to share with him. She could have been scared to fly, but she chose not to share with him. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're claustrophobic,
right, it's a fact. It's not choose not to share. It's I'm claustrophobic.
But you choose to repress those situations.
It's not. That's it. But she's saying the fact that she is afraid to fly. If you're afraid to fly, but you fly all the time for pleasure, then you're by fact not afraid to fly.
That's not true.
Oh, it's true.
You can have a fear of something, and you decide to try to overcome your fear.
That's what the psychologist
for whatever vehicle you're using, because it's a necessity.
She took sleeping aids.
Okay, but it's interesting you say over that. Her best friend from but it's interesting that you say her best friend from high school. Her best friend. You told me her testimony was irrelevant.
No, I said he was there.
No. It's not. That is her best witness. You said her testimony was irrelevant.
I never said the word irrelevant. Let me finish.
They talked to everyone who's at the party.
Truth is what I deal with every day.
Every witness that she called, they talked to and interviewed. Every single witness.
But it's almost like how many witnesses were there?
Control.
Exactly. Control environment. It was a selection of individuals.
Right.
It's almost like if we were
if you want to go further,
right?
Okay, since then he's been sworn in,
right,
to the Supreme Court, right?
Absolutely.
How many since he's been sworn in, and you should know this because that's your man. How many cases did he have to accuse himself?
He's not my man.
Just since he's been in
he's not my man.
He's defending
I'm looking at the evidence.
All right.
I'm looking at
What
the
he's
facts.
trying to say is
Your
this
man.
is the facts of
You sound like
evidence.
your
If
man.
us four right here, we went to a party,
Yeah.
and somebody, we seen something happen.
Right.
Then we left. We're going to share with those that are close to us, whether it's 5 or 3 people.
Right.
They need to talk to those individuals. How do they know that somebody murdered somebody? Because they talk to their girlfriends, their brothers, and sisters.
They gotta go where it leads them.
Okay, let's
He's
say
trying to say that it was controlled enough
let's
for them
say the
individuals
four of
not to
us
be able to
were
explain
at,
spoken to.
okay, the four of us are at a party with Ruben, okay?
Absolutely.
They interview the four of us, all of us say, you weren't at the party never happened, never met Ruben, I wasn't at the
But
party.
if they interview your wife and she said that you were at the party, he's trying to say that your wife never got interviewed, it was controlled just to us and not everybody else.
Because you told the wife that you were.
You see what I'm saying?
Somebody wasn't.
Okay, exactly. So I know what you're saying. I know where you at.
But when you get to that point of
Absolutely.
talking to the periphery,
Right.
instead of the actual people that he called as witnesses,
Right.
this is just hearsay.
That's not hearsay.
But at the end of the day, when somebody says, "Oh, I know somebody that murdered somebody," why do you know? Because they told me. Is that admissible? Absolutely
So
not.
do you
Because now you
disregard-
are now a witness.
Are you disregarding her best friend's testimony?
I'm not. I'm talking about but we're talking about it as
We're
how
talking about
it's
bringing in
controlled.
all the
We're
facts.
saying that everybody needs to be brought in. If there was 5 of us that were there, we
Okay,
talk about.
I agree. You know what?
Right.
If everybody needs to be
Matter
brought
of
in,
fact-
she can go to the police right now and file a rape charge. It's not passed.
It's almost like
It's,
first
no,
generation and second
She
generation.
can go do it right now. If she believes
She wasn't raped.
If she believes she was assaulted, it's not
That's-
past
that's
the point
separate-
where
that's
she can do
separate.
it. So why not? Why not do it?
Because of the trauma. Listen, man, if she didn't report it then, why would she report it now?
Absolutely.
Wait a minute.
15 years old.
That's illogical. She went
illogical.
before
No,
the
that's
country.
right. That's very logical.
She's just been through the trauma. If it was real, she's gotten over $1 million from a GoFundMe account.
Did you miss the?
She's gained over
Did
$1
you miss
million.
Money can never subside the
Did
emotional
you miss the
destruction
fact that
she
she didn't want to be public? Somebody leaked that. She never came.
So you know 100% that she didn't want to do this, that she 100%.
I don't know anything.
How do you know?
I don't know anything 100%. Just like you don't know right
How do you
now.
know that you?
All you know is what I heard her
I
say.
know what the
So
witnesses
now
said.
you are hearsay because you had heard from somebody like 10 people down the line.
I know they interviewed the witnesses.
It's
I know they
it's
did.
not hearsay.
You know what?
How can you make something
I can
up
only
if you
hope
don't
you're-
hear?
I can
Let's
only
get
hope
back-
you guys
It's
are
almost
subject to
it's almost
hearsay
like
like this.
with the news.
We're
They
on a
always-
rabbit trail here.
With the news,
Yeah.
they always only give you enough to make you. They only give you enough.
So-
They don't always
so-
put all the evidence in
Mike,
you.
let me ask you
So when
this.
they talk to their,
Are you okay with it if you go tomorrow? Okay.
All right.
Tomorrow.
Right.
A girl you went to high school with says,
Right.
Mike Corey assaulted me at this party
Okay.
when we were 17.
Right.
Okay. She says, my best friend was there, these 4 other people.
All right.
And her best friend says, no, I never met Mike Corey, never was at the party.
Okay. So check
And
this
the
out.
other 3
Wait,
people
she
say,
could've
I
been
was
upstairs.
never there.
She allowed in the room.
Exactly. She's not. Let me tell you something like this. If
Wait,
there's 15
what would
people
you-
at the party,
and
if
then-
there's 15 people at the party, you're never introduced
No,
to
no,
those
the 5 people.
I
There were only
understand.
5.
There was only 5 people at the party.
And every single one said, Mike Corey, never met him, wasn't at the party. Your friends say, we weren't at this party. Her best friend said, wasn't there, never met Mike Corey.
Right.
Is that good enough for you? Is that good enough?
Suppose she left and then somebody else came in after she left.
That's what I'm trying to say. You don't.
all kinds of variables that you don't know
They
about.
could have been at the table.
No. Apparently she left. Apparently, according to her testimony, she left.
Right.
She left. There was nobody else.
Right.
Okay.
So they asked every witness at the party that said you raped the girl, and they all said
Attempted
no,
rape.
you weren't
Attempted.
there.
Attempted rape.
No, that's rape. We're talking about rape, and you weren't there, Mike.
Right.
Her best friend, your best friends all say never happened.
So you're
Mike
saying
wasn't there.
So at the end of the day, you're saying that I was never there, but supposedly he was there. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
No. Supposedly you were there.
Oh, okay. Supposedly I was.
According to the girl, you were there, but according to you, you weren't. According to her best friend, and according to the other people at the party, they never.
Was there alcohol
the party
involved?
never existed.
Was there alcohol involved?
No.
There was
But
no
no alcohol.
There was,
She
there
admitted-
was
she
no
admitted
drugs
to
or alcohol.
she admitted to having one beer.
But she
She
admitted.
admitted
But
she
what about
had
everybody
one
else? Because at the end of the day, some people can drink enough to be like, oh, I seen
Is
the person,
that
but I
enough
wasn't
to
really
convict
introduced
you
to
of?
him.
Is
And they're
that what we just laid
Right,
out? Is
right.
that enough to convict you of?
I mean, absolutely not. But at the end of the day, where we have to view what was. If you're gonna do that, then let's put the same exact situation. If we're gonna do it, we need to put the same exact situation. It's like we have cookies, we have pretzels and chips. We need to have the same exact setting and layout. Same, just like that.
No, but I'm not. We're laying this out.
Right.
A similar scenario.
Right.
That happened to you.
So where there's
When you were
drugs or
17,
alcohol involved.
No alcohol. She'd had a beer, admittedly, earlier in the day.
Right.
No
Like
alcohol.
4 o'clock in the
So
afternoon.
there was no drugs, alcohol there, period.
No.
Oh, you talking about that scenario?
Right.
Kavanaugh's
That's what I'm saying. It needs to be the
They
same
was
scenario.
twisted.
It needs to be the same scenario so that
They were all
I can
drunk.
actually understand with you. Because if you're saying 17 years old, they were at the party, the only way that nobody's going to remember at 17 years old is if everybody was drunk. Because you could bypass somebody and be like, oh, I was never properly introduced, but you've seen them. So when you sit there and you think about like, have I met this person?
You wake up the next day.
Have I really met this
4
person?
in the afternoon, let's say you're not drunk. It's
Right.
4 in the afternoon. You're not drunk.
Right.
Because you've been doing some athletics, whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
And all the
Is that
witnesses
what happened
said
in-
Mike Corey didn't rape her, Mike Corey never met her, we were never at this. Her best friend said, I never met Mike Corey, I wasn't at this party.
Right.
Never been to a party with Mike Corey.
Right.
Never, emphatically, under oath, never met Mike Corey. Do you doubt her? Why would she say that? Would she leave a window open and say, maybe I met Mike Corey? Or would she say, I never met him?
He just laid out the framework for, because that scenario was different from Kavanaugh scenario, because they were all drunk.
That's what I'm saying.
Leland Kaiser said, Leland Kaiser
No, they
said
were all
she never
drunk.
met.
Okay,
But
okay.
they could have been drunk, just like I said, just like if there's 10 of us at a party, let's say.
That's what they
we're all
could have been.
drunk.
I say I
That's
had
fun.
When I got stopped, we got locked up, arrested
Right.
for drinking,
Right.
driving.
Right.
Told me I had one beer too.
Right,
But
absolutely.
that's a big could have been.
Absolutely.
But
at
the
the end of the day, it has to be the
Leland
same
Kaiser
thing.
says.
If you shake hands with somebody, if you don't shake, put it like this. You meet a lot of people in your life. Some people you shaking hands with. You don't even have to be drunk, but you do not remember those people from the
But
past.
this woman,
But
what
talking
you're
about a
saying,
party
you
where-
deny her truth. She emphatically said, I never met him,
Listen,
never went to a
listen,
party with him.
I was pretty popular in high school. I see people now on the street. Hey, wow! I said,
No, exactly.
That's not my point.
But in high school,
Hey,
This girl says,
I don't remember
I
them
never
from-
met
she was
Corey.
15 years old when it happened. When did she
And she
report it?
says, I
You see that
never
mean?
met
15
him.
years later, you're not gonna, your memory, the
Then she
memory
would,
that
okay,
get shot.
then wouldn't
That
she
shot season
say,
way in.
would she leave the door and say, maybe I met Corey?
No, she would say, thank you. That's what
Would
I'm
she
saying.
say, but let me ask you this, okay, answer the question.
Right.
If she said, maybe I met Corey, that's a little different than, I never met him. Emphatically,
This is true.
never. She
This is
didn't
true.
say maybe, and she had nothing to
But
with
if she
But let me say this.
But this is
The
what you
victim
asked.
said,
Listen
I
to
know
what
it
you
was him.
asked. But listen to what you asked. Listen to what you asked. Have you ever met Mike Corey? You didn't say, did you see him at that party? You said, have you met?
She
You
said
didn't
she also
shake
said
hands,
she never was
right?
at a party with him.
See, but how does she know? She never met him. How can you be at a party with somebody that you never met if you never seen them? But at the end of the day,
Time out. Something's not, the train of thought. There are 5 people at a party.
Right.
They
I hear
asked
what you're
her.
saying, right.
She never said she never met him and never
How
was
can
at
you
a party.
be at a
She
party with
said
somebody
it.
you never met? If that's like I'm saying to you, Paul. Listen what I'm trying to
could have been a
listen what you're saying,
wallflower.
Paul, if you're over there, if you're in the corner and there's 5 of us, we don't see you. If I never met you, therefore you don't exist, so something that doesn't exist you don't know about.
Okay,
right or wrong?
all right, let's
So
not be
that's
silly.
That's
If
not,
there
that's
are
not silly, that's facts.
if there
How is
are
that silly?
5 people at a gathering,
Being silly.
if there are 5
You
people,
sound like Trump.
Oh, no. If there are
That's fake
5,
news.
time out. If there
That's
are
fake
5
news.
people at a gathering, if there are 5 people at a
That's fake
gathering,
news, Mike.
5 people,
And he don't like
and you say, I have never been at a party with this person,
Right.
are you saying she's a liar?
No, she's telling the truth. It's exactly why the lady said that's the guy who assaulted me,
Right.
and I know it was him. Is she
Right.
lying? Why would you not believe her?
Exactly.
Because her witnesses denied it.
Everybody in this world, I'm going to
So
point you out.
her witness denied it. So the person who said that she wasn't there, what about her witnesses? Because she went and told somebody.
But her
she might have-
witnesses all deny it.
But she might have went and told somebody. You know what? Guess what happened tonight?
Absolutely.
I mean,
and just like we say a lot of times.
they did not want to bring the people
As
in
a matter
there
of fact,
to get
that you say, just say that.
video.
What about when the stepfathers rape their stepdaughters, right? Right? The mother always says, oh, that didn't happen. Somebody could have told her when she told her one of her friends, oh, that didn't happen. Are you sure it was him?
But so
But at the end of the day, somebody was told,
but you're
right?
telling
That's
me
what I'm agreeing
when
with
the
you.
woman-
Somebody was told, right?
But so when the woman emphatically
What was the
denied,
original question?
I
Yeah,
did
we're on a rabbit
not
hole.
meet
We're
him
on a rabbit hole.
at the
Rabbit
party.
trail.
I did not meet him at the party. I've never met him. Her friend had no reason to lie.
But she had no reason to lie. That's what he's asking you. Why would she just point him out and lie?
Yeah.
Well-
Nobody has a reason to lie, right?
Well-
But people still lie.
Well,
Why would you lie and say
if somebody
got one
says
dick, but
to
you
you,
got
I
proof
can
of
get
that
you a
DUI? Why would you
GoFundMe
lie?
account where you'll make over $1 million. Is that a reason to lie?
But does money
Is it a reason to lie? Because I might not get sworn into the Supreme Court. That's my dream career. I've been living for this. So is there a reason for me to lie and say I didn't do it, right?
People kill their spouses over less than $1 million.
This is
Watch
true. So
Dateline ID.
you just gave.
We talking about motive here. We talking about motive here.
You just said. You just
We
said.
talking about motive here.
You just said people kill their
But let's
spouses
get back
over
to
less
the
than $1 million.
facts.
Well, that's a motive. If you know you're going to get over $1 million from a GoFundMe.
But did she know that? Did she know that? When the little girl started those homeless shelters, she was gonna make $3 million to actually start the homeless shelter. No, she didn't.
Let me
It
tell
was
you.
just to drive out there.
Let me tell you
Nobody-
probably.
Come on, this is the.
Let me tell you probably why she got the $1 million.
There are no guarantees in life.
Because somebody. Let me tell you why she probably got the $1 million to GoFundMe fund. Because somebody understood that she probably was telling the truth
Absolutely.
and he was lying.
Absolutely. She played on the burdens of every other woman that's been with
But it wasn't her.
Unless people
It wasn't
come
her.
forward and said, listen, we're going to get her make sure that she's got plenty of money after this. All right,
Well,
that's enough for today. I think we're at the end. Go ahead, Ruben. What have you got to
Yes,
say there, my friend?
thank you very much for this civil discourse.
Was that
And-
civil? Was that uncivil?
It was, nobody got hurt.
Hey, nobody got cut. hey, I'm still in one piece. All right.
So I just want to leave one question out there for the public. We don't need to answer this because, we will continue. Do we see enough evidence to call Kavanaugh guilty?
No, because all the evidence, we got to answer, wasn't brought to the table.
Absolutely.
Right.
So
Okay.
it was just like they say, no
We
bias
could
is
have,
fine.
but we wouldn't
no
give the opportunity to
evidence.
see
It's
it.
inadmissible, so therefore that you can't. This is the truth.
Well, let me remind you, there was a case in 1989 in New York City, Central Park, where...
The Central Park 5?
Yes, exactly. The
Yeah.
Central Park 5. A woman was raped and she went to a coma, as a matter of fact. 4 African-American young men and a Hispanic young man were found guilty. They went to prison. 20 years later, I believe, the real culprit, who was already in prison by this time, he confessed. So we put 5 young men in jail for 20 years.
Yeah.
With what evidence?
If you really add it up, that's 100 years,
Hearsay.
right?
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys, that was great.